Okay, I got a few ideas I want to share with you today. Some of these will save you money, some of them will save you time, and every one of them is going to save you some frustration in van life. So come on, let me show you what I got. First up, storage. One of the biggest challenges you find in van life is where to put all your stuff. It's a pretty small living space, and so we're not even going to try putting this in the living space. Instead, we're going to go around to the garage in the back, and I'll show you what I think is a pretty good idea for storing this stuff. A lot of vans have this little recessed area on the back door. This is where the windows would go if you had back windows in your van. We don't have back windows though, and so there's this kind of deep area here that if you're not a professional van outfitter, you might not know how to deal with this. You can't really put anything here because that's the outside skin of the van. You don't want to put any holes or do anything to that because you'll see it here. So how do you utilize this space? Well, what we came up with is this over the door hook. I've got this linked in the description below. This is something that you would put in your house over your closet door or your bathroom door. You would just hang it right on the top of the door like that. And then you've got all these hooks for bathrobes and towels and whatever. And what we're going to do is put this right up here. The first thing you want to do is remove all of these screws and take the hooks off of this side, and we're going to put them on this side instead. And as you do that, you're going to want some thread locker. Right here I have some Loctite permanent thread locker. They also make a variety that is removable. That's the stuff I like because I'm kind of commitment phobic. So I don't want things that are too permanent. Anyway, put the hooks on the other side, put the screws back in with some thread locker. That way you won't lose any screws when this thing rattles down the road. So here it is, I've got it modified. Now I also drilled these holes a little bit larger than they were to begin with. That's because you want some real beefy screws because this thing might be holding a lot of weight. So you want screws that are going to be strong enough to hold it. Finally, you want to bend these tabs up a little bit, and that will match this angle that this part of the door has. Because that is not perfectly flat, it goes up a little bit. Then you just drill a couple holes right here to match the holes on your hanger and put this thing on. And right now you can see why we put the hooks on the other side. If we had left them on the original side, this thing would be sticking out this way and we'd be losing all of this space right here between the hooks and the door panel. So this way it puts them right back towards the door. You get a lot more space. Now check this out. This is my backpack. This is my over-the-shoulder sling for a water bottle for when we're hiking. This is our ice scraper and brush for winter time. This is my winter jacket. These are my trekking poles. And I have a couple of sweatshirts. And just like that, all of that stuff is stored out of the way, convenient, the door still closes, and it's all good. Cool thing is, you can do this on both sides. So right here, you can see Shannon has storage of her own on that side. One thing that can be extremely frustrating in van life, when you're looking for a place to park overnight, you want to be level. You don't want to be rolling to one side in your bed. Or if you're cooking something, you don't want all the food sloshing to one side of your pan. And it can be difficult to get level, even in what appears to be a nice level parking lot. I don't know how many times we've pulled this way and then backed up and went over this way and the other way, all the while trying to get level and never really being able to get there. A torpedo level will really help with that. You just set it on your countertop like that and drive until you center the bubble between the two lines. The cool thing is you can easily turn it this direction so that you're not only level side to side, but you're level front to back. It's really helpful. course, a lot of times you'll be in a place that is on such a slant that a torpedo level alone is not going to take care of it. So in that case, what we have is some leveling blocks. We have two sets of these. We have two of them that are 21 inches long, and we have two of them that are 10 inches long. And I'm pretty sure you can guess how these are used. On the side of the van that's low, you just put these right in front of the tire. And then depending on how extreme it is, you may get away with just one, or you might have to put two of them on there. But once you have them in position, then you just drive onto them. And yeah, I know, of course, you can buy plastic ones at Camping World or an RV shop or someplace like that. But you know what? The world has enough plastic in it, so we're pretty excited to have some that are just made out of wood. And what's more, it's quite likely you could get this for free. Go find a construction site where they're building a house or something. A lot of times in a place like that, you'll see a scrap pile that they're going to be burning a bunch of scraps that are too short to do anything with. Just pull on up, ask those guys, hey, can I have a few scraps of wood? You might get these for free. So we're super happy with these. But now you might be wondering, where are you going to put them? So our van is a 2018 Sprinter, and on both the driver's side and the passenger side doors, we have this little compartment down here. Kind of a hidden storage compartment. We weren't even aware this was here for quite a while, but we finally discovered it. There's nothing in it, but what we did is we cut these little ribs out of here that were in here, I think just to stiffen it, but we left these ones. And the reason for that is, in case you were wondering why our leveling blocks have these notches cut out of them, it's so that they can fit like that. So, cut those guys out of there, leave the big ones because they have the hooks on them, obviously. And just like that, we have our leveling blocks stored out of the way, out of sight, out of mind, and yet they're right close to the wheels where we need them. Hey, real quick, I want to introduce the sponsor of today's video, Epic Water Filters. Epic is a company out of Boulder, Colorado, and they are doing their part to help reduce all the waste generated by single-use plastics, particularly single-use plastics found in bottled water. These things, you drink your water and then you throw it away. It's just ridiculous. So Epic has a bunch of different water filtration products. One of our favorites for Shannon and me is this one. It's called their Everywhere filter. It fits into a Nalgene bottle just like that. And anywhere you find a lake or a river or a stream or any kind of fresh water source like that, maybe a public fountain, you can have all the safe, delicious drinking water you could want. But hey, don't take my word for it. Check them out. We've linked them in the description below. And if you use the coupon code TSLTD20, you can get 20% off your first order. So check them out. Thanks. Okay. Thank you. Excuse me. Sometimes we stop and park just long enough to cook a meal, like breakfast or lunch, and then we're going to hit the road again. And in those situations, if it's uneven ground, it's not worthwhile to take the time to put leveling blocks under all the wheels. And when that happens, we can still use the torpedo level. We just put it right on the cooktop instead. And then we've got all these little strips of wood. So we went camping last winter, and we were in this remote campground, practically empty. But a few spaces over from ours, underneath the picnic table, someone had stowed a bunch of wood. I think there was some woodworker who had been camping there before us, and he had a bunch of scraps of hardwood, a lot of stuff. And I think he was probably using that for firewood. And so we went over and grabbed a bunch of it, and we burned it as well. But then I saw these little thin strips, and I thought, you know what? I know exactly what to do with these. So when we are not level, one thing I will do when we're cooking is just slide these right underneath the cooktop. And voila, all the oil stays in one place and our hash browns get cooked evenly. Now, if you're not fortunate enough to find these in an adjacent campsite, they're real easy to make. You could just take a 2x4 or something like that, run it through a table saw, get a bunch of different thicknesses, and you've got your own leveling strips for your cooktop. This one has saved us so much frustration. I can't tell you how many times we have gone to get some water and we turn the faucet on only to find there's no water pressure. The pump got turned off. Who keeps turning the pump off? This is our switch for the water pump. And when we open our fridge, a lot of times the lid will hit the switch just like that and turn it off. It's enough to drive you crazy, I tell you. So if you're still designing your van, I would recommend you don't put your switches where your fridge lid will hit them. If, like us, it's too late for you and you've already done it, well, I have a suggestion. So I was looking at this video, totally unrelated, just watching a space shuttle video. And I noticed on the instrument panel where they have all their toggle switches, they had these little switch protectors. And so I was like, how could I do that? And I asked my brother. If you remember my brother, he's my favorite tool. You can see him in this video right here. He's also linked down below. He's full of good ideas. He came up with this idea to use a drawer pull. So this is a drawer pull like you would find on a drawer that you would mount like that, and then you would use it just to pull the drawer open like this. Well, this works really great. We drilled a couple holes into our panel here, put a couple of screws in from the other side. So I'll put it back together and show you how it works. Okay, I've got the drawer pull on there. I'm just tightening up these screws. And the drawer pull is mounted really securely. And now, watch this. Bang! It didn't hit the switch. So now, we still have running water. Problem solved. A Sprinter van is kind of high off the ground even when it's not on blocks, especially for Shannon. So she has a tough time getting into this because she's kind of short. But then we put this thing on blocks to level it when we're on uneven ground, and I have trouble too. Look at this. That's too much of a stretch for me. So we have a little folding footstool. No, this folding footstool is not our van hack. This is just something that makes it easy to get in and out of the van. The question is, where do we keep this thing? Well, ideally, we'd like to have it right here beside the door, right where it's easy to reach when we're needing it by the door. And what we found is right here in front of our kitchen cabinet, this is the best place for it. The only problem is, anytime we hit the brakes and stop, it falls over, of course. So we needed some way to secure it that would also be out of the way, that wouldn't be catching on our knees or snagging on things. And what we came up with is the Wrap It. This is a Velcro strap. We have these linked in the description below. You can buy an assortment of these in a number of different sizes. We have a bunch of them. We use them all over the place. And what we did is measured where to drill a hole, put a hole right there, and then with a fender washer and a regular washer and a short wood screw, then we just put this on here, screw it in like that, and voila, we have a nice storage place for our footstool. It's out of the way. It's easy to walk past. We're never stepping on it or tripping over it. It doesn't fall down when we hit the brakes. And best of all, it's real easy to just lift that up, pull it out, and boom, we are in business. Well, that's it for this one. I sure hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, please give it a thumbs up. That would sure help us out. And subscribe, because we'll be doing more videos like this in the future. And once you've subscribed, ring the little bell down there and you'll be notified anytime we put up a new one. Also, if you buy any of the products from our links in the description below, we will earn a small commission at no extra charge to you. And that would really help us out. So we'd appreciate it if you need any of these items. Use our links. Thanks so much. We'll see you on the next one. Till then, bye.